AI-1071 had a flight of just 35 seconds, in which, just 7 seconds after takeoff, both engines shut down because their fuel supply was cut off. The pilot asks his co-pilot, "Why did you shut off the engines?" The co-pilot's reply comes, "I didn't shut them off." 12 seconds into the flight, the red turbine activates, which supplies power to the flight's crucial components. The pilot immediately turns the fuel supply back on for both engines, and 17 seconds later, Engine 1 also starts up. But by then, the aircraft had descended quite low, and it could ungenerate enough thrust to take the aircraft back up to altitude. At 22 seconds, engine number 2 also starts. However, it doesn't reach fuel ignition, and this engine remains completely dead, like a non-functional engine. 36 seconds after takeoff, the aircraft completely fails to generate thrust and crashes into the ground. Where the pilots operate the entire aircraft from is called the cockpit. The pilots sit on both sides, and in the middle is the pedestal from where the entire flight is controlled. From here, it's easy for both pilots to control the flight. The lever you see is called the thrust lever. As it is moved up, the engines increase their power, i.e., generate more thrust. So, during takeoff, the engines are at 90 to 100% thrust, meaning the engines are operating at full power. Just behind these thrust levers are the engine fuel switches. The Boeing 787 has 2 engines in total, so separate fuel switches for the 2 engines are available here. Now, the thrust lever is like a car's accelerator. It can be increased or decreased repeatedly as needed, and just behind it are the fuel switches, so it's possible that these might get turned off accidentally while using the thrust lever. Generally, such important switches are given extra security. Turning these switches off is not that easy. It requires some additional effort. By default, they are locked. So, to turn them off, first the switch must be pulled upward, and only then can it be switched off. The main pilot is quite experienced. If the co-pilot does any such activity, it's very clear. He can guess that the person sitting next to him did something. So, there's a high chance that the fuel was cut off due to some mechanical fault. Because when these switches were turned back on, judging by the engine's response, it seems there might have been other faults available in the aircraft as well. Actually, we will understand in detail what happened with the engine, but understanding the concept with the help of animation is easier. If you are also interested in learning such animation, we have designed a detailed advanced 3D animation course. Along with that, we also provide you help anytime. So, if you are interested in learning, the details are available in the description. Do check it out. Now, back to the point. Starting a shutdown jet engine takes at least 15 to 20 seconds, because a jet engine has multiple compressors and turbines inside. So, to start the engine, first, with the help of an external motor, the high-pressure compressor is rotated. When the engine is at full speed, this compressor operates at 10,000 RPM or even higher. This compressor pulls air from outside, compresses it, and this air is delivered to the combustion chamber. When the compressor starts operating at 25 to 30% speed, the external power from the motor is cut off, and simultaneously, with the help of an igniter, fuel is ignited. As soon as the fuel starts burning, the gas here starts expanding at high pressure, and this gas reaches the high-pressure turbine, causing the turbine to rotate. Now, the important point here is that the high-pressure compressor and turbine are connected by the same shaft. So, when the turbine starts rotating, the compressor pulls air from outside. After the high-pressure turbine, this gas reaches the low-pressure turbine, causing it to rotate as well, and the low-pressure turbine is connected to the low-pressure compressor and the front fan. So, it also starts rotating at high speed. Now, the most important thing, when both turbines start rotating, they generate tremendous power, which causes the compressor and the large front fan to rotate. This is the condition where the engine starts generating thrust on its own. Until fuel burns in the combustion chamber, the engine cannot generate thrust on its own. This process, where it takes the motor at least 10 to 15 seconds to get the low-pressure compressor to 25 to 30% speed, and then the fuel ignites, and then the turbines run, takes a total of 15 to 20 seconds before the engine starts generating thrust. Now, in Boeing's aircraft, Engine 1 restarts 17 seconds after takeoff, which would take at least 20 seconds to generate proper thrust. So, by the time it started increasing power, the aircraft had already crashed to the ground because it was only at a total height of 190 meters. Now, let's talk about engine number 2. There's a high chance of a fault in this engine. It starts in the same way, but it starts 23 seconds after takeoff. And by the time this plane crashed, fuel ignition hadn't even started in it, meaning the motor hadn't yet brought the compressor to 25 to 30% speed. So how would the fuel ignite? And even if the fuel had ignited, the engine would have needed more time to generate thrust. So this engine was essentially dead at the time of the crash. Now, the aircraft's electricity generator is also connected to this jet engine. Basically, the high compressor shaft is connected through a gearbox called the integrated drive generator. But the important point is that the engine's speed continuously varies. So this generator is attached with a constant speed drive that rotates the generator at a fixed speed. So as soon as this flight's engine shut down, this generator also stopped. In such an emergency situation, the Ram Air Turbine automatically deploys, and it basically supplies electricity to the flight's critical devices. Now, a question might come to your mind. Why is there even an option to cut off the fuel? Our cars don't have this. And it's a simple thing why cut off the fuel when the aircraft is flying. Cutting off the fuel is, in a way, a very big risk. So, jet engines are very complex engineering. They operate at high speeds for very long periods. Because of this, sometimes a fire can break out inside the engine. So, when the plane is at a very high altitude, it can shut down its engines for some time. When the engine's temperature is controlled, the engine is restarted, and when the aircraft is at a good altitude, it is stable, and they have good time. So, even if the engine descends a bit, they can regain their altitude. Boeing is an American company, and the way the American media is engaged in defending Boeing, and based on the preliminary report that has come, one thing can be said: something is fishy. The American media and this report are clearly trying to prove the Indian pilot is mentally disturbed, although some flights have crashed in the past due to pilots' mental problems as well. In AI-171, faults in Boeing's aircraft are clearly visible, and the biggest fault will shock you. The aircraft crashed on June 12th in Ahmedabad, and 2 black boxers were detected. It took 10 days to get them to Delhi. Because their data can only be read in Delhi, there is no facility available in Ahmedabad to read their data. So, what were they doing in Ahmedabad for these 10 days? It's possible that in these 10 days, they might have even traveled to America and back. There are many questions, friends, but their answers are yet to come. I hope you understood a lot from the technical point of view. If you're interested in learning such animation, details are available in the description. Do join. Thank you. Asterisk, asterisk. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe, like, share, and comment below with a logo image. Your thoughts encourage the creation of more stories like this. Thank you for listening. Until next time, asterisk, asterisk.